If you're trying to get bounced like this, make sure to watch the whole video through. Let's say we have two people with the same frame and height. Person A can produce 50% more force than person B. Let's say it takes person A 0.7 seconds to lift this weight, and person B 0.5 seconds to lift their weight. And person A weighs 175 pounds, while person B weighs 160 pounds. Who do you think would jump higher? Cause personally, I would pick person A, and I'll explain why in this video. Jumping is essentially a display of power. If you took a physics class, you would know that power equals work over time. Work equals force times displacement. We can make something new using displacement over time, which equals velocity. So finally, we're left with power equals force times velocity. Terms you might have heard such as rate of force development or the force velocity curve stem from this formula. Jumping is just your ability to create force at a certain velocity. So what exactly is force? Think of force as strength because that's exactly what it is. You can use weightlifting to demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about. When you're lifting, every single movement that you do is a display of power, because you're moving the bar at a certain speed while pushing a certain amount of weight. But if you're not training for power, you're probably not producing a lot. We can isolate force by removing velocity entirely. If we don't move the bar, we can see that this is purely a strength exercise. And velocity is just how far the bar travels in a certain amount of time. Or just speed. Speed of the bar in this scenario. If power is the key if power is the key to jumping higher, then how come powerlifters aren't bouncy? But I think we all know the answer to that. Weight is the second biggest factor of someone's ability to jump. Just look at the world's highest jumper as of now, Isaiah Rivera. He has a 51-inch vertical, only weighing 175 pounds, and these lifts are nothing less than Z-Warrior leveled. So the new formula looks like this. Vertical jump equals power divided by weight. Notice how I put potential there in the brackets. Well, that's because there are countless more factors that are mostly genetic that for the most part you can't train for, such as height, femur length, if you have bow legs, muscle insertions, and even the ability to inwardly rotate your knees. Now let's take a look at why I picked person A over B. Even though person B has faster bar speeds and weighs less, the strength difference is just too much. But the numbers don't say everything. Although squatting is highly correlated with jumping ability, it doesn't tell everything. Not everyone is going to have the same frame, jumping style, and so on. So comparing your lifts to others won't really do much. All you can really do is outdo yourself. Let's do another comparison. This time, person A will be Ja Morant, and person B will be Anthony Edwards. They both obviously have unique builds from each other. Just looking at Anthony Edwards, we can tell that he's a lot stronger than Ja Morant. Probably by a really big margin. Now when we look at velocity, we're not talking about speed, which I think they're both relatively pretty fast. Probably Ja Morant's probably a little bit faster, but I still think Ja Morant takes off faster on his jumps than Anthony Edwards. Just by a bit. And then there's their weight, which we can actually get numbers for. Ja Morant is 175 pounds, while Anthony Edwards is built like a football player at 225 pounds. Yeah, that's a 50-pound difference. That's like the size difference between yourself in elementary school versus in high school. But yet their verticals remain near identical. They both are 2-foot jumpers, but sometimes they'll switch it up and go for a 1-foot dunk. But you'll see Anthony Edwards go for more standing dunks as he has more strength. Ja Morant is definitely better though when he gets to take more steps, like in the fast break range. So why is this? Let's do another comparison. This time it's fast break dunks versus standing dunks. When you're doing a standing dunk, the velocity that you can reach is very low, meaning that you have a lot more time to build up strength. If you compare that to a fast break dunk, you have almost no time to build up strength. So it doesn't matter if you're just as strong as Ja Morant if you can't produce that force in a quarter of a second. And it doesn't matter how fast your ground contact times are if you're doing a standing dunk. This is why 1-foot jumpers usually suck at standing dunks, because they're completely different fields. Comment which video you want next, how I train for power or how to train for your jumping style.